The air crackled with tension. King Jeroboam, ruler of the newly divided Israel, stood before a smoking altar in Bethel. He was about to offer sacrifices to a golden calf, a false god of his own making. Suddenly a man of God appeared. He was a prophet, sent from Judah with a message from the one true God. With a voice filled with the Lord's authority he spoke, "Jeroboam, this altar will be destroyed. Your kingdom will crumble." Jeroboam's face contorted with rage. He pointed a commanding finger at the prophet. "Seize him!" he roared. But before the king's guards could react, something astonishing occurred. The altar split in two, incense scattered, ashes rained down, and the flames shot skyward. It was a terrifying display of God's power, a sign that the prophet spoke the truth. Fear flickered in Jeroboam's eyes. His anger momentarily forgotten, he watched in stunned silence. Then, as if to test the prophet further, he stretched out his hand. "Strike him down," he ordered his guards, his voice trembling. Instantly the king's hand withered, his fingers curled into a claw, stiff and lifeless. Panic seized Jeroboam. He had defied God and now he was paying the price. Jeroboam fell to his knees, his pride shattered. "Man of God," he pleaded, "I have sinned. Please ask the Lord your God to heal me." The prophet looked upon the king with pity. He had delivered God's message and he had witnessed his power. Now it seemed even Jeroboam was beginning to understand. He raised his own hand towards heaven. "Lord," he prayed, "heal this man's hand." As quickly as it had withered, the king's hand was restored. Jeroboam, humbled and amazed, stared at his fingers, flexing them in disbelief. He had been shown mercy, but would he heed the warning? The man of God stood firm. He had spoken God's word and performed his miracles. Now, he had to obey the rest of God's instructions. "I cannot eat or drink in this place," he declared. "I must return by a different road." Jeroboam, eager to show his gratitude, pressed the prophet to stay. "Come home with me," he urged. "Let me give you a gift." But the man of God refused. He knew the dangers of lingering in a place of idolatry. He had to remain faithful to God's commands. With a heavy heart, he turned away from the king in Bethel, choosing the lonely path of obedience over the comfort of the king's hospitality. His journey back to Judah was just beginning. As the man of God traveled, an old prophet from Bethel approached him. This old prophet had heard of the events at the altar, of the warnings and the miracles. But unlike the man of God, his heart was not fully committed to the Lord. "Come home with me," the old prophet urged, echoing the king's words. "Let us eat and drink together." He claimed an angel had spoken to him, instructing him to bring the man of God back to his house. The man of God, weary from his journey, hesitated. He longed for companionship, for a moment of rest. The old prophet's words, though deceitful, played upon his desire for comfort. Against his better judgment, he agreed to return to Bethel. As they sat down to eat, the old prophet's demeanor shifted. His voice, once warm and inviting, turned cold. "You have disobeyed the Lord," he declared, his eyes blazing with accusation. He revealed the true message he had received from God. Because the man of God had disobeyed, had chosen to listen to a deceitful voice instead of trusting in the Lord's clear instructions, he would face a terrible consequence. He would not return home alive. The man of God was filled with remorse. He had allowed himself to be swayed by temptation, and now he would pay the price for his disobedience. He had been entrusted with a message from God, but he had failed to fully obey. His heart ached with the weight of his error. Heavy with dread, the man of God set out once more. He knew his fate was sealed, his journey cut short by his own moment of weakness. As he traveled, he encountered a sight that chilled him to the bone. A lion stood in the road, its powerful body blocking his path. The animal's eyes glowed with a fearsome light, its teeth bared in a menacing snarl. Before the man of God could react, the lion pounced. The lion's attack was swift and brutal. It struck the man of God down, leaving his lifeless body lying in the road. Standing guard over the tragic scene was not only the fearsome lion but also the man of God's own donkey, a silent witness to the fulfillment of God's judgment. News of the tragedy reached the old prophet. He was filled with grief and remorse. He had been an instrument of the man of God's downfall, his deceit a contributing factor to the tragic events. He knew he had to honor the man he had misled. He set out to find the body, and there on the dusty road he found the lion and the donkey still standing guard. They had not touched the body, nor had they harmed each other. It was a strange and somber sight, a testament to the power and mystery of God's ways. The old prophet carefully retrieved the body and carried it back to Bethel. He buried the man of God with his own hands, mourning him as a brother, a fellow servant of the Lord. As he laid the man of God to rest, the old prophet made a final request. "When I die," he said, "bury me in this same tomb, lay my bones beside his." The old prophet, despite his own failings, recognized the true righteousness of the man of God. He knew that even in death, he wanted to be connected to this faithful servant. He yearned for the same kind of unwavering obedience, the same unwavering commitment to God's word. The story of the man of God is a stark reminder of the importance of obedience, the seriousness of God's judgment, and the ever-present possibility of his mercy. It is a tale of faith tested, of trust broken, and of the enduring power of God's word.